Hello guys, once again this is Frank Ilo from Afri Design Studios. Today we shall be looking at how to apply massing or how to do massing in Revit. When I say massing, I simply mean anything that you can mold. When I mean massing, I mean molding a component. For example, your window hood. The window hood is an example of massing. Your concrete fascia is an example of massing. Those things you cannot achieve with normal walls or ordinary walls, that you need to mold, you need to create in a long form. When you want to create your curbs in Revit, you use massing, okay? Because it will be difficult for you to create a curb with the normal wall. Why is it so? The curb used to have a chamfered tip at the head, but your wall is usually straight, except you want to create a straight looking curve. That is when you use your wall. But anything that has complicated shape, you do it with massing. And there are two major massing tools we use. There are so many others, but there are two that are mostly used, and these two are the extrusion and the sweep. The extrusion and the sweep. And in this class we are going to look at the two of them. The extrusion and the sweep. How do we go about that? To do that, I have to put a window hood on this, but I'm going to use the normal and the simple one, which is the extrusion. The extrusion helps you to do simple and straightforward designs, but the sweep enables you to do complicated and twisted designs. So let's use the extrusion first. We have to go to the south elevation. So I go to my project browser, double click on south elevation. After south elevation, what I have to do is this: I go to my architecture, go to components, click on the arrow there, click on model in place, then I click OK, then I click OK again. The next thing I have to do is I go to extrusion, click on extrusion. Then it's going to bring this dialog box. This dialog box is very important in the sense that it will, when you pick a plane, you must have to identify the plane or the surface where your window hood or the massing you want to create is going to be placed or positioned. So I pick a plane, and now I click OK. After clicking OK, it is time to select the surface. This place is very tricky, very tricky, because sometimes you find it very difficult to locate or to find the surface where the window really is. Sometimes you may select a surface thinking that you've selected the surface where the window is. Unfortunately for you, you have actually selected a surface that is behind the window, maybe at the other side of the wall or at the other side of the elevation. So I have to be very careful with this. Now you can see these blue lines that has appeared surrounding some elements like the windows and the doors. Whenever these blue lines appear and the window you want to create a mass upon is bounded by the blue lines, know you that you have selected the right surface or plane. Let me repeat. When you have hovered your cursor in such a way that when these blue lines appear, the very window you want to model its window hood was surrounded by the blue lines, better know that the surface where you want to create your massing has been selected. In some cases, you may be seeing blue lines, but this window is not bounded by the blue lines. Know you that it is another different wall that you have picked. For example, now if I come here now, you can see blue lines. Blue lines are actually showing, but this window was not affected. It was not surrounded by blue line. So know you that you are in the wrong place. So let me do the right thing. So as it is being surrounded now, I can now click my mouse. I click. Once I have clicked, I have to now draw around the window. Draw around this window. So having done that, I have to go to offset in my modified panel. Go to offset, click on offset, come inside the offset and type in 150. This 150 is to be the wideness of my window hood. Okay, once I've gotten this, I hope you know what I did actually. I was actually clicking on this, the inner pink lines. Once you come to the inner pink line and click, it will offset it. So that is what I actually did. So when I have done this, the next thing I have to do is go to finish edit mode. Click on finish edit mode. After doing that, I have to give thickness to this window hood. What should be the thickness? So sorry, I have to do two things here. I have to give it thickness and I have to give it material. Most of the sorry most of the window hoods we have in town are usually in white color, most of them, but not most. It's not compulsory, but most of them are always in the POP form, the plaster of Paris, the pure white color. So that is what I'm going to be giving this one. So having said that, let me give it thickness first. By default, the thickness here is 250 millimeters. 250 millimeters, I'm going to give it 75. So it's not too much. So 75 millimeters. Then I go to material. Under materials, you will see by category. Click on that by category. Then something will come out. This box, we call it ellipsis. Click on the ellipsis, and the different materials will come out inside a material browser. So whenever you say this is called the material browser. This is very, very important in Revit, because this is where you will be selecting your materials and your paint colors. Very, very important. So when this appears, you can see the name here, material browser. So I have to scroll down to gypsum wall board. Gypsum wall board is sent as the plaster of Paris. So this is it, gypsum wall board. I click on it. It is pure white. I click OK. Then I click finish model. You can see it. This is the white color of this. So if I go to default 3D view, this is what I've just done. You can see the thickness. This thickness is 75 millimeters, like I did some while ago. So I have to also do the other method. The other method is using the sweep method to create the window hood. But I'm going to do that at the north elevation where we have other windows. So I have to go to the north elevation. I double click here on the north. So this is my north elevation. I'm going to create here. I'm going to create window hood here. So I go to architecture, I go to components, I go to model in place, I go to OK, and I click OK again. This time around, instead of clicking on extrusion, I'm going to click on sweep. Like I told you, we have other ones. You have blend, you have revolve, you have sweep, sweep blend, void, forms. But like I told you, extrusion and sweep are mostly used. So I click on extrusion. Then I click on sketch paths. Then this will come out again, asking me to select the surface or the plane where my window hood is going to be placed. So I click OK. Then I have to select the surface. Remember what I told you? Selecting the right face or surface means that these windows you are seeing here have to be surrounded by blue lines. If you didn't see blue lines surrounding them, you have not picked or selected the right surface, and when you click, you will actually be disappointed. So I start hovering around. Okay, now can you see it? Can you see it? You have to move your mouse around the surface to every corner, be it at the tip here, or on top, or any, or even on the windows themselves, until you see that surface. Can you see it here? I was able to locate it from here. I can equally locate it from here when I bring my cursor here. So anywhere that is more convenient, that is, or is faster for you, use. Sometimes this, I'm telling you honestly, as I'm doing it here, it looks simple. Sometimes you will look for this thing and look for it and look for it, you will never find it until you try different positions. Sometimes it becomes so difficult that I have to go to my 3D view. On my 3D view, I may be able to locate it. So it is that difficult. So do not see it the way I'm doing it, that it is always this simple. I'm just trying to prepare your mind ahead of time. So I can now click. Then I have to come down here and start from here and draw around this window. Draw around this window. Having gone round, I will come to this place, finish edit mode, click on finish edit mode. Then the next thing I have to do is click on edit profile. When I click on edit profile, it's going to bring east or west for me to select the view or the position where I would like to stay in order to edit this this window hood. So anywhere can go for me, anywhere can go, but I think let me select east. Okay, east is okay. So I click open view. Then this is my east elevation. So what that means is that I am standing on my east elevation right now in order for me to edit the shape that I want this to carry. So I click here and move up. Always go up and type 150 and press enter. Then I go to my right, I type 40, let me say 45 and press enter. Then I come downwards and type 35 and press enter. Then I press escape once only. I click at the bottom again and go to my right again and type 45 and press enter. Then I move up, I type 35 and press enter. Do not be confused at what I'm doing. I'm only trying to create the shape that my window hood is going to have. So I come here, I want to actually create a curve here. I want to curve this place, so I have to come to this arc. It is called start end radius arc. I click on it, then I click somewhere here at the end points of the other line that was coming from up down. So I click here, then you can see the arc or the curve has already formed, and the radius of this arc is 40. You can see 40 in there. You can adjust it to any position you want. You can make it bigger like this, but be watching the radius until it gives you the radius you want. You can see this other radius is 48.4, 52.3, so until you get what you want. So I normally put my own at 40. Then once it is 40, I click at that point. Once I click at that point, I now come here, finish edit mode. I click on finish edit mode. After clicking on finish edit mode, I click on it again, finish edit mode the second time. Then this third time again, I have to come to the material to select the material I want it to have. I'm also going to give it the plaster of Paris, POP, which is my gypsum wall board. I click on the category and I click on the box in there, which is the ellipsis. Click on the ellipsis. Then I select my gypsum wall board, in other words, my POP. Click here and click OK. Then I click finish model. Then if I look at this from the 3D view, it's going to give me something like this. Let me rotate this building. Look at what I've just done. You can see the difference between the sweep and the extrusion. The extrusion was so plain, but the sweep is complicated and twisted. So let me just go to the front view to show us the extrusion again. This is how the extrusion looks like. You can see very plain, very simple. But this is very complicated and twisted. So this is how to do your window hood. I can also as well tell you that you can copy this thing to other windows as far as they are on the same level. You don't need to start creating it one by one for every other one. So you can copy this to the other ones. So how do you do that? Let me also go to north elevation. Then I click on this. When I click on this, I go to copy. Click on copy. Then because there are several other windows on this line, okay, we'll have two more, one, two. I have to select multiple. This multiple will help me to copy into different multiple places or several places. So I click on it. Then I look for the reference point or the contact points. I click here. I'll move this here. One and two, provided the windows are of the same size. But when they are not of the same size like this one, I don't have to create the stuff again because it is time consuming. So I just place it on this one and press escape twice. After pressing that, I now click on this and go to edit in place. Click on edit in place. I come to the window hood again and click on it. Then I go to edit sweep and click. This time around, I will locate this black line. There's a black line surrounding this, surrounding the inner part of the window hood. I select it. When I select it, I go to sketch part. I click on sketch part. Then it will turn to the pink color again. I click on this one and go to move. Click on move. Select the head of it and move it here. Bring it here. Then I do the same thing here and bring it there. So having done this, I click finish edit mode, and again, and for the last time. So it will edit it to the size I want it. So this is how to do this very task of creating window hood using massing. But we can also create your steps using the same massing form. Let's assume we want to create the step that will take us to this house. The step that will take us to this house. Want to create a step here. Want to create a step here. How do you do that? You go to the floor, natural ground level, sorry. Double click on natural ground level. Okay. You click on architecture, click on components, select model in place. Okay. Okay. Sweep. Sketch parts. Then you draw where you want the step to be. It's going to start from here and end here. Draw it here. Then you click finish edit mode. After doing that, you click edit profile. Then you select either east or west, but I'm okay. Let me select west this time around because I don't want this wall to obstruct me. But this is my east elevation. I don't want to edit it from this side. I want to edit it from here so that I can see it clearly. So I select west. So I select open view. So this is it. So I click, mind you, you must have to start from this red point. I click on this red point and move up 450. I press enter. I go like this, 300. I press enter. 150, enter. 300, enter. 150, enter. 300, enter. Then I come downwards, press here, click there, and connect it here. I hope by now you know that the 300 I was typing was for the thread and the 150 is for the riser. Having done this, the next thing I have to do is to click on finish edit mode. After doing that for the first time, I do it for the second time. Then the third time, I have to come to the material. I have to give a particular material to this floor, or what's it called? I have to give a particular material to these steps. So I come to by category, click on it, and I click on this box inside here, the ellipsis. Click on it. The material browser is going to appear. Then I have to make my choice. What material do I want it to be? This time around, I'm going to use a wooden material, a wooden material. Let me use this very one, wood, walnut. Mind you, I'm just using this for the tutorial. This may not be the appropriate material to use for your floor and for your steps, but for the sake of this tutorial I can use anything. So I click here and I click OK. Then I click finish model. The material has already been applied. You can see the color there. So let's go to the 3D view to see how this looks like. I go to 3D view. This is how my step looks like now. From here you can climb up to that. From here you can climb up to this place, to this point. So that is just one. There is one thing that is left again. I want us to put, let's say, with the hood on this curtain wall. How can you do it when two walls are involved? How can you do it when two walls are involved? Like when we did it here, it was only this wall, the south wall, that was involved. It was very simple for us. Now we have the south walls and the west wall on this. How do you do something like this? Simple. You will use the sweep tool to do it. Use the sweep to do it. Are you getting me? You are going to use the sweep tool to do it. How do you do that? You go to architecture, click on architecture. Okay. Go to component, click on the arrow, click on model in place, click on OK. Click on OK again. Mind you, again, you have to do this on your 3D view. Your 3D view has to be in place before you can do something like this one. So in this case now, what do? I click on sweep. When I click on sweep, you know, the last time we did, when we used sweep on the north elevation, we used sketch parts. But when you are doing this one that involves two elevations, sorry, that is the west and the south elevations, it is better to use pick parts. Pick parts is the best option for this, not sketch parts. So you click on pick parts. Now you come here. I normally select from this side. You select the edge. Make sure it is at the edge of the wall. I pick this one. I pick this one. I pick this one. I click on this one. I click on this, and I click on this. If you watch, some of these things are not joining. This one is not joining to this one, but all of them are meant to join each other. They are meant to close. They are meant to close and join each other. There should not be any gap anywhere. So how do you correct that? You come here under your modify panel, select trim to corner, trim to corner. I click on it. Then I click on this very pink line. I click on this other pink line. Then this one that is extended, you have to trim it backwards. So I click on it and I click on this pink line. Then this one, there's a gap here. I click on this one and I click on this to cover it. There is also a gap here. I cover it by clicking on this one and clicking on this one. Then this extension, I have to draw it back by clicking on this and on this. This other gap here, I have to cover it. Click here and click here. So you can see that everything has gone round and they are all covered. There is no gap anywhere. If you have any gap anywhere, Revit will bounce it with a warning, and you wouldn't want Revit to warn you. So having done this now, I go to finish edit mode. I click on this. Then I go to edit profile. I click on edit profile. So it's going to bring me here. This is where I'm going to stand to edit this. I want you to take note of something. You can see green dotted line on this axis, and you can see another one on this axis. They are serving like your reference point or the reference plane. It is on those green dotted lines that you sketch whatever you want to sketch. So watch out what I'm going to do. I click on this red point. I click here and I move towards this green dotted line on it, outside, not inside. If I come inside now, my window hood is going to encroach into my curtain wall, so I have to go out. So I bring it out here and I want the thickness to be 100 millimeters. Okay, let me say 75 millimeters. I type 75 and press enter. Then having done that, I now moved my other line perpendicular to the first line I drew. Let it be perpendicular. It has to be perpendicular, making angle 90. You can see the angle 90 there that it has been formed. It has formed angle 90. So I type 450 millimeters. I press enter. Then I go again. This one again should be perpendicular to the last line I drew. I want to be seeing the angles, forming another angle 90. Okay, this one should be angle 180. Where is the angle now? It's not coming out. Okay, but all the same, it has to be perpendicular to the last line I drew. So I type another 75 and press enter. Then I have to connect this one here. I connect it. When I have connected it, this is showing you the section of this window hood I'm creating. The section is this. So I come here on finish edit mode and click on finish edit mode. Then I come again on haven't done that. I have to click on it again. Then it is time to apply material to it. I have to click on by category. Click on by category here. I click on the ellipsis. Then after clicking on the ellipsis, I have to select again my plaster of Paris, my what is it called, gypsum wall board. I click on gypsum wall board. I click OK. Then I click finish model. This is what I've just created. I did this intentionally. If not, the thickness or the protrusion of this shouldn't have come out this 450 millimeters. It should have been 75 millimeters like all these other ones. But this was intentional, so you can, to show you that you can do your extrusion to any length you want it. Okay, so we have been able in this very lesson to learn how to use extrusion to do your window hood, and how to use the sweep to also do a complicated design for your window hood. And again, lastly, we also used it to create this step here, and finally we used it to create this kind of window hood that is extraordinarily protruded. So this is where we'll be ending this very lesson. I am sorry the video has taken a longer duration than I wanted, but all the same, you can still subscribe to our videos on YouTube, Afri Design Studios. Thank you.